Yeah. So if you're someone that just has been playing for a long time and you still feel like your fingers are just too slow and you'll never be able to play fast, then this episode today is for you. Yes, my friend, because you are not correct. Your fingers are already fast enough, and I'm gonna show you today at least 3 approaches, 3 tricks, how you can start getting some speed in your playing and make your blues lines more fluid, kind of in the same way I was jamming over here, where I was just playing continuous lines and it just seemed very fluid, right? But at the same time, I wasn't technically struggling. These tips today are straight out of my Total Guitar Transformation book, again, where I collected strategies that I use for my students to help them become soulful and confident improvisers, especially for blues and blues rock playing. So yeah, if you want to have some taps and some additional information about these tactics, then get this book. It's gonna help you a lot. Or even better, you hook up with me directly. If we have some open slots in our TGT Inner Circle, then you can work with me directly. But that's another story. Let's get right into the topic today: how to use legato elements in your playing to speed up your playing and to make it more fluid and make you work less and play more. All right, so let's talk really quick about the problem that many players seem to have. I was also struggling with that in my earlier days, and it's just this technique barrier, right? It just seems like we're never able to cross this barrier of technique, which very often comes down to alternate picking, right? It's to pick each note and just to synchronize your hands. It's a tough thing. It's not easy, yeah? But this is not going to be the subject of today's lesson. Today's subject is how we can overcome this alternate picking barrier by getting your mind and your fingers used to playing fast with some legato approaches. And then later on, when you feel comfortable, you convinced your mind that you can actually play fast, then you also will be able to master these alternate picking challenges. Sounds good? All right, so I'm gonna jump straight in and just show you my first little nugget. Let's call this nugget number 1 that you can use to connect your lines better. Check it out. So we are here in the key of C minor. This is the C minor pentatonic, and I'm just gonna play these 3 notes here. So what I have here, I have 1 legato, hammer on, and then 1 hybrid pick with my middle finger. 3 notes, yeah? I can play this with the pinky, or I can play this with the ring finger. Try this very slow at first. Get really comfortable with the movement and just do this in slow motion. It's okay if the notes ring into each other a little bit here at the slower tempo. This will not be happening when you speed it up. So, you just do this very slowly. Until you get comfortable. And then maybe try to make little bursts of faster groupings. The most important thing here is that this should really feel effortless. This should not be difficult for you, yeah? It's a very organic movement, and you just like... Just let yourself fall into this new movement and take it really slow, yeah? There's little synchronization going on here, so it should be relatively easy for you to speed that up. If that particular shape is a challenge for whatever way, then just take another shape, yeah? Let's just take this one on a D string. D and G string. You can do the same thing there. That's our next step, is now that we use that same mechanic and we're just playing different notes. Yeah. So for example here. You see how that works? So then you get a little more comfortable with this. You can actually string together these elements. And build longer lines with this same concept. Yeah? Or the other thing that you can do is you can have little repeating spots like this with the 3 notes. Yeah? And then put it together, string it together with your other licks, and make this like a resting spot for your lines, basically. Yeah? Because when you're there, basically you can just hold on. You don't have to work that hard. You can just rest on that little spot. That makes sense. Yeah? Cool. So let's go back to the backing track. I'm going to do this first with 8th notes. And then we do little bursts of 16th notes, just the same way I would like you to do this as well. That's pretty much it. There's really not more to it. Start slowly, and also keep in mind that when you play triplets, don't play 3 note groupings in the triplets. It just sounds amateurish. Don't play 4 note groupings over the 16th. It also sounds amateurish. What really sounds good is if you can play the 3 note grouping over the 16th, or the 4 note groupings over the triplets. That just sounds way more interesting. I'm going to demonstrate it to you so you know what I mean here. Yeah? All right, so here we go. I've got 3 notes. Now I've got 16ths. That sounds very sophisticated, right? If I play it sounds kind of stupid, right? If I play a 4 note grouping in triplets, it will also sound good, but this is not our subject right now. We don't have a 4 note grouping here. So this is the first thing I want to get you into under your fingers, and you will find out it's not so difficult to play, so you shouldn't have that many problems. All right, little fragment number 2. Are you ready? Here comes fragment number 2. Most of you probably have already done this before. You might be telling me by now, like, oh, Ulrich, that's just too primitive, too simple. Well, have you ever done this as a concept? I mean, you might have played something like this, almost like by accident, stumbled upon it by accident. But have you ever conceptualized this little phrase? Yeah? Because this is pretty easy to play for most guitarists. It's like hammer on, pull off, upstroke on the next string. Yeah? It's a classic whittly, whittly, whittly lick, basically, yeah? Yeah, and so if we use this conceptually and just move this through the pentatonic and go like... we can easily string together longer lines that have a fluidity, but are not difficult to play, yeah? So let's do this slow, first over the drone, and then we're going to take this again to the backing track. Are you ready? Let's do it. Slow. Let's do this over the backing track. Now this sounds, again, groups of 4 over the 16 sounds a little stale, but what if I do triplets? Then it sounds really exciting. Let's try that. Yeah, awesome. Do you see how powerful this is? Especially if you keep that in mind, that you don't play the same numbered groupings over the same subdivision. Yeah, so no triplets with 3-note groupings and so on, like I said earlier. Yeah, cool. So, the trick here is to really nail down the little fragment first, the mechanic of the little fragment, and then learn how to move it around in your scale, in your pentatonic, whatever. And then, as you're comfortable, then you string them together. And then, of course, don't forget to do cool phrasing. Yeah? String them together with your licks that you already know and create long lines like that. Yeah? That being said, I got one more for you that's gonna be awesome. So let me show you this little trick. This is a sidestepping lick. Yeah? So we're gonna use legato and slide on this one. So check it out. Slow. And again, over the backing track. All right. So of course I was maybe overdoing it a little bit here now, but I wanted it to make it so obvious so that you really understand what I'm doing here. Yeah. So okay. So now we got these 3 elements, and now the task would just be to make this feel organic, right? So we don't want this to feel like you're just cramming in this element, but we want to feel it like there's a certain flow to it and it connects well with your lines. So how do we achieve that? Well, we gotta jam. We gotta jam a lot. So take this backing track here, put it on, start slowly. If it's too fast, then start with a C drone and just practice the fragments first. But then what you want to do is you want to move all over the fretboard and play this in all the positions and find places where you can do these 3 tricks. Yeah? So I'm gonna go and demonstrate that here for you. But before I sign off, I'll need to tell you that we currently got 9 slots available in our TGT Inner Circle. Those are the people that I work with personally on tricks and approaches like this, and we meet on a weekly basis. I look at homework videos and so you're really like in good hands to develop these techniques perfectly in your playing so that you can play with more freedom. If you're interested to learn more, then fill out an application down there where it says Game Plan Session, and we will be in touch with you. Awesome. Keep on rocking. Talk to you soon.